This year, were they super or just so-so? Duquesne marketing professor Dr. Audrey Gusky is here with her take on the ads. Good morning.
Good morning, Christine.
All right, so what makes a good Super Bowl ad?
Well, you really want it to have like the 3 C's. It should be creative, it should be cute, and it should also be cool. So it's got to have maybe animals. This was the year of the critters and the celebrities.
Yes.
They had 20 celebrities, whether it was athletes or Carmen Electra. They had Justin Timberlake, Will Ferrell were all on. And there were a lot of animals, and the animals seemed to win the prize this year as far as the Super Bowl. Whether it was the rat grabbing the Doritos, or whether it was the horse, or dogs, or lizards, or, you know, all kinds of different animals.
So I know one of the biggest, most popular ones, of course, for our area was Big Ben.
Huge, and here's our
another
celebrity.
star
Yes,
power, yeah.
Which was a great commercial. It was absolutely funny because I think most people didn't realize it was going to be coming on, and there he was, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's Ben. And then the singing, well,
yeah.
we all know.
I think it's a surprise factor, not expecting him to sing.
Yeah, yeah.
Very funny. So humor is a big thing.
Humor is a huge thing. And, you know, this was selling American Idol. This particular commercial did not count as far as the rankings because it was a TV promo.
I see.
But still, we all loved that. But basically, you want humor. The one that was the favorite for all as far as USA Today ad meter was the one with the Clydesdale. It was called Hank, and the Dalmatian helped him, you know, join the team the next year. And that was a great one because it told a story from beginning to end. You know, here was this horse that didn't make it and very dejected, and then you have the Rocky theme coming through, and, you know, we know all the different, you know, training that this horse went through. And that was a classic, and that was #1 by far, very well ranked. And that was really the only one that had a beginning and an end and an actual story.
Do these really sell beer?
That is a great question. The answer is no, they don't, and they're not supposed to. These ads are put on because it's a Super Bowl for football, but it's a Super Bowl for Madison Avenue. The advertisers and marketers want to create an image. They want to be associated with this excitement, but they're also competing with each other because this is a big deal. So you've got Budweiser and Pepsi and Coke and Disney and all these big companies, and they're trying to, in a sense, get the recognition of America. Christine, this is the only mass marketing event that we have left in this country. Half of America, 100 million people were watching it. And so, you know, it sounds like a lot of money, 2.7 million, but when you really crack it down, it's only 3 cents per viewer. So that is not too bad. In a sense, it's sort of a bargain, but they're not necessarily there to sell the product. They're there to create the image and build the brand.
And part of that image then overall is to sell the product.
It is. Oh yeah, overall, the fact that, you know, people recognize the brand and see it as what it is, and they create these personalities and images of these organizations, that does sell. But the bottom line is, could they actually attach sales dollars to these ads? No, not really.
All right, so the Coke Wars, those are always popular. We've got the Pepsi ad, Where's Bob? How did this one go over?
This was a very good one. Most people were expecting it, so it wasn't a terribly surprise. And if people are thinking, I can't hear anything, actually in the commercial you couldn't. This was a completely silent commercial for 30 seconds. An inside joke with the deaf community, people who are hearing impaired. And as we all remember, the only thing the horn was honking, and the only house whose lights didn't turn on, of course, was someone who was hearing impaired.
And like you said, this got a lot of play before the Super Bowl. So it sounds like if they come up with something really creative and unique like this, they can get a lot of play outside just that night.
Absolutely, and not just that night, but also the next day and the next week. People are still going on YouTube and various places to look at the commercials. So it's really a huge hype. We've been talking about it for days, and we'll continue to talk about what everybody's favorite ads were. So it's a big newsworthy thing, and it tends to work very, very well.
We've got another commercial, a Bud Light commercial. Now, was this, did Budweiser have exclusive rights, is that right, to alcohol?
They did,
beer
because
sales?
they ended up buying, I think it was about 10 minutes worth of commercials. And so they had a large audience, obviously. They were the #1 winner. This one with the fire-breathing one was one of the first commercials that was on air, and it was one that people recognized and really liked. And so they had a series of them, and they tend to be the #1 as far as amount spent. So they, of course, have exclusivity.
Wow. All right, Dr. Audrey Gusky, thanks for your thoughts on that.
Thank you, Christine, always great.
And you can see Dr. Audrey Gusky of Duquesne University here on Pittsburgh Today Live, the first Tuesday of every month. Still ahead.